Hey everyone, thanks for joining us this Friday. Welcome to the Knowled P1200R Hard P8 and P600 Hard P4 product launch live stream. I'm Benjamin and I'm here with Knowled and Mac Group USA. We're here in East Hollywood, Los Angeles, California for our product launch event. And we're gonna be joined by a very special guest today. He should arrive any minute. Oh, let's go get it. Oh, hey.
Hello, my friend.
Ryan, come on in, man.
Ben.
Great to see you.
Great to meet you. This is Knowled House.
That's right. So here in East Hollywood, California, this is where we run a project very special to us. It's called the Knowled House of Light. And Terraform is the home base for it.
Exciting.
It's a place where we can invite cinematographers like yourself, talented DPs, lighting professionals, and filmmakers to come and learn more about the Knowled lighting technology. But today, we're here for a very special product launch event. The P1200 Hard P8 and P600 Hard P4. And let's open it up with a little sizzle reel from the factory.
Hand off my phone.
All right, guys, so as you can see, we have a lot to talk about today with these product releases. But first, let's learn a little bit about my companion here today, Ryan Cow. So Ryan, what are you up to?
How's it going, guys? My name's Ryan. I'm a commercial cinematographer here based in Los Angeles. I've been a DP for the last 8 years, working here in Los Angeles for the last 4 years or so. I've had the privilege of working with brands like Adidas, Lincoln, Nike, DJI, Mercedes, kind of you name it. But I'm super honored to be here on behalf of Knowled to talk about this exciting new lineup with Ben. Kind of a fun fact, Godox was actually one of my first lighting brands that I had ever purchased when getting into video back, 10 years ago. So it's kind of a fun and exciting full circle moment to be here and talk about some exciting new technology with you.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to go through these new Knowled product launches. Some of the features, delve down a little bit, and have your perspective as a cinematographer out in the field, but how these features could be useful to you and our other clients out there watching.
Yeah, absolutely.
As I mentioned, we're broadcasting here live from Hollywood, California at Terraform LA. Terraform is Knowled's home base here in Los Angeles, where we run our House of Light project. This is a place where lighting professionals, cinematographers can come and experiment with the lighting technology that Knowled is bringing to the market. And really, it's an exciting day to have two new products here amongst all the other tools people can come and learn about here. So let's take a look at these two new lights.
Perfect.
To my right, we have the big one. This is the 1x2 foot panel, the P1200 Hard P8. This is an incredibly high output instrument. And we have to my left, its little brother, the P600, which is a 600 watt light instrument, as opposed to the 1200 watt light instrument over here, which has the designation Hard and P4. We're going to talk more about what P8 and P4 means a little bit later today.
Sure.
These two products have been released to really solve a need that the most professional cinematographers need. And it's a super high output lighting instrument. And there's a lot to talk about there. These are 161,000 lux instruments measured at 1 meter. And that's a lot of output. Ryan, I'm curious, when you hear of an output that high, How useful is that to you, and where would you use that type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of an interesting thing. 161,000 lux might not mean a lot to a lot of people, but if we're really talking about this type of lighting fixture configuration, a 2x1 panel, more often than not, we're not really thinking about utilizing these as key sources that can key up against broad daylight exteriors, or even doing bright backlit windows in an interview type of configuration. But 1200 watts is a ton of punching power. This can go from something like, again, working in a broad daylight, high noon exterior where you need to wrap or fill, a key source, or do that, to where we can't even see it. 1200 watts is more than enough output that really transforms this light fixture, this 2x1 kind of all-in-one, very compact configuration, to being really an all-in-one solution. So rather than thinking about this light as, a supporting light fixture to your main key sources, this kind of has the output that can make it a primary light source for a lot of gaffers and DPs.
Yep. Yeah, so I mean, taking a look at this output, it really is an incredibly punchy source. You could probably match some incredibly high-level ambient lighting scenarios and take control of it, giving your talent a more flattering or a contrast that's even to the scene that they're in, or even creating some dramatic effects by being brighter than the scene that they're being filmed in.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing for a panel light, because like you mentioned, we normally think of this type of thing coming from more cob lights. We have a lot of options in that type of product category, single point sources that are super high output, but it's rare to have that versatile feature of output from a panel like this, and that's a really unique feature. Another thing that's great about these is not only are they brighter than a lot of things that are available, their beam angle is much broader. So these have a 55-degree beam, which is a very, very wide beam. I'm curious, how would that make these a unique product for you in the way that you work, Ryan?
Yeah, typically you're going to see panel sources like this used in a lot of studio environments, typically illuminating a cyc or a backdrop rigged overhead. And what that 55-degree beam angle is going to allow you to do is effectively use less total fixtures to evenly illuminate the same amount of area. So, in a configuration like this, maybe we'd be using 4 or 5 panels to get a really clean wash across everything. That 55-degree angle might allow us to use 3. So greatly improving the overall amount of efficiency and rigging that you would have to do with these lights, but also a little bit less, maybe obvious, but very practical element for these lights is if you're diffusing them through a 12x frame or an 8x frame, using it as a key source, you're gonna be able to get that fixture closer in proximity to that frame, because its 55-degree angle is gonna be able to fill that entire thing out without having to be as far away, which is just greatly gonna impact, the overall footprint and size that you might have if that's a limitation in your type of shooting environment.
Totally. I think about a lot of places where panels are popular, book lighting scenarios where you push it in front of a bounce, and that bounce has to be right in front of a diffusion for it to go through. So we don't have a lot of room to back the light off from that bounce surface.
Exactly.
So having that extra wide beam coming out of it means fewer fixtures. We're doing more with less. So quicker set changes, right?
Exactly.
A little bit more efficiency in the tools that we're working with on set.
And just less overall rigging that your G&E team might have to deal with. If they have a more powerful fixture with a broader beam that can cover a larger area, just less total units, can save on budget and manpower.
Yeah, and it's a lot of savings, you guys. Imagine this. If this fixture is approximately 1 meter away from this background, you have approximately a 2 meter spread. So it's really a lot of light moving out into both angles that you're going to take advantage of, especially in those overhead scenarios. So panels are really popular for space lighting huge stages. It's not uncommon to see lights like this rigged every few feet, 5-6 feet, another panel. With that extra wide beam, you can get away with fewer. And with that extra output, you're not missing the T-stop range you need to get that high level of illumination for the image quality we need in our projects.
Yeah, absolutely.
So today I'm controlling these lights with this iPad, and I'm running our Knowled iPad app. The Knowled app is really, really powerful because it can work with a T-Mobile CRMX antenna, this little guy here, a little ad hoc Bluetooth connectivity, and then send out a totally reliable professional CRMX radio control to these lights. These both have CRMX protocol built in. And that's going to be rock solid even on sets with a lot of interference. Like the one we're on today, we have some Teradex running and other wireless products. I'm going to trust that this is going to give me the lighting cues and changes that I need. And the Knowled app is really powerful. It's something worth looking into no matter what products you're using, because we actually support a lot of competitive product lines in the profiles that it supports. So if you're using other manufacturers other than Knowled, you still might enjoy this free download from the App Store, the Knowled app. But today it's giving us this sort of wireless control so that I can call up the lights and take a look at their output, their controls. And the next thing I want to look at today is the pixel control. And to look at the pixels, yeah, that's beaming pretty brightly, as you can see. I'm going to take a look at the back of the fixture here.
Oh yeah, flip it around.
And let's take a look quickly at the effects modes, and we'll jump into the rainbow. The reason I called this one up is this really illustrates the individual pixels that are addressable on this lighting instrument. So this fixture has 8 addressable pixels, and this one has 4 addressable pixels. And really, that's going to give us a lot of creative control. I'm curious from you, Ryan. When you see this type of pixel control and the type of effects that you can achieve with it, what type of projects would you use this on, and where would you find it useful?
Yeah, I mean, pixel control is something that's really, really interesting that I think not a lot of DPs right off the bat might have an understanding of what the application can be. But when we're working in environments like utilizing practical effects like this is I believe the firelight effect. A light source, it sort of acts as one individual source. And when you're doing, a flicker or, a CCT flicker, it doesn't always create the most realistic of an effect. But when you're actually able to address individual pixels and have different intensities, different color temperatures, that practical effect becomes a lot more believable. When we start getting into environments like virtual production, for instance, when you're shooting up against LED volumes and you're needing to have realistic light with textures, with gradients, with movement, the assignable pixels allow you to precisely map that and really sell that virtual production world. Same thing with working on, process, doing car work. When you're rigging, lights traditionally, if you need to get overhead, passing street lamps or, different light sources like neon signs rolling by, when you see that sort of reflection on talent's eyes and face, traditionally grip and electric teams are rigging the craziest, spinning stands that A, adds time, and B, budget, and also safety concerns.
Oh, totally.
So having a source that has addressable pixels, being able to rig these in various configurations and create that movement digitally, it's a really, really powerful tool that I think a lot of teams are going to be able to benefit from.
Totally. From great examples, having that process effect, virtual production where we need that object-based lighting to perfectly emulate that background that we're trying to blend our talent into. It's a really powerful feature for those types of usage cases. And just giving you more versatility. This tool can do more and more technical situations than many other fixtures that are on the market today. The other things I want to talk about, control on this light. We have a lot of different professional protocols available, DMX, RDM, Bluetooth, CRMX, as we're using now, as well as app-based control through Bluetooth. I'm presently taking control of the fixture with the CRMX, which is super reliable. It's wireless. That's what that T-Mo-Link antenna is helping me access through our Knowled app. But there are basically all the various professional protocols that you would need in most rigorous control situations built into the fixture. The next thing we should talk about with these lights is their durability. And I hope that you can come here to our location and see here with our House of Light project at Terraform in Southern California how well built these things are. And there's a lot of details to notice. When you look at the yoke on the light, it's really robust. I like that we're putting the brake on just the one side of the fixture. So if you have this up on a high stand or it's rigged overhead and you have your hand on a ladder, you can reach up and lock off the light with the one brake and set the sort of angle of incidence from the beam that's coming out. And the yoke is offset. So the light is coming out towards me, which lets us achieve these more downward angles of incidence. If you want to loosen that for me.
Yeah, of course.
Lock that off. So without having additional rigging, and arms and things like that, we'll be able to get that sort of downward light. So They're getting that from a lot of feedback from talented gaffers working on set. This is something that a lot of panel lights don't have, and we have it here, so it's a good thing. And the other thing about the robustness and durability of it is its IP rating. So this fixture is actually built to be entirely weatherproof, which creates a lot of cool things we can do with the light. Actually, we're going to do something here. We're going to step outside so that Ryan can show us exactly what that IP rating means to you.
Well, we're in Southern California, so we don't honestly have that drastic of weather changes. We've been getting some rain lately, but an IP65 rating means that this light is going to be fully weatherproof, fully waterproof, not submersible, but you know, we can do this, take a hose, soak it down, no issues. We don't have to worry about this light having, you know, any issues or malfunctioning when we're in those kind of like adverse weather conditions. It might not seem like a very valuable feature to a lot of people right off the bat. You know, we're trying to usually plan our days and plan our shoots with the best weather possible, but it's not uncommon that you might get some weather scenarios and some weather conditions that just simply aren't favorable. You know, let's say you're rigging some lights on the exterior of a building, you know, weather changes, rain starts to come down. Traditionally, your G&E team, your grips and electrics are gonna have to run out, throw bags, throw umbrellas over lights, but an IP65 rated fixture is going to be able to take that abuse pretty much no matter what comes, whether it's rain, snow, dust, you know, all of those things are going to be something that this light can deal with. The big benefit too, I think, is also that when it comes to a client and sort of a rental usage of this light, the fact that it is so robust with its overall, you know, weather performance means that when the light comes back from rentals, if it's getting beat up, if it's getting dusty and dirty, being able to clean these things and make sure it's going to hold up long term is just super, super important for a lot of people who are going to consider investing into multiple of these for a rental house or a, you know, a G&E company.
That was a pretty dramatic demonstration on what IP65 means for us out in the field.
A little exaggerated, but
obviously a full dousing with the hose in the side yard next to the studio here. But that's what these lights are made to withstand. Heavy rain effects, wet downs. If you have a day with adverse weather, we don't have to rush crew out into the field to bag these things up, pull them back into the truck. They're built for that sort of rigor and durability that we need in the most challenging filming environments. So
yeah, absolutely.
We really do have a durable weatherproofing on these.
Yeah, it really adds peace of mind too, from an owner's perspective, but also a rental perspective, knowing that if these lights are going out into productions that might be filming in slightly less than ideal weather environments, whether it's crazy amounts of dust, dirt, mud, rain, snow, that these things are going to come back and not have any, you know, functional issues, you know. And also from a cleaning perspective, being able to quickly just rinse these things down, put them back on the shelf, getting ready to go out for another order. I think also too, from my perspective, what's so great about this build and just the robustness of it is the standard kind of 2x1 panel configuration. It's, you know, very much in line with what I think a lot of G&E teams are going to be used to with rigging and how they're storing them, loading them in and out of trucks. So these things being able to immediately go into those working environments and fit right in amongst, you know, all the other lighting fixtures, it's really, really good peace of mind.
Totally. Yep. So if you have, you know, head carts and things like that you want to load these onto, odds are you can take, you know, older technology that maybe isn't doing everything you need and put these into the same sort of shipping, packing type of scenarios, and you'll be just as happy from that side of things. So another spec that we should mention is the color fidelity of these lighting instruments.
100%.
These are great, so you're not going to be unhappy. We have a CRI at R9 of 97, TLCI of 98, TM30, RF 95, SSI at 5600, 85, SSI at 3200 degrees Kelvin of 84. So these are no slouch when it comes to the ability to reproduce beautiful color. Ryan, I'm curious, with color fidelity like that, these specs, how is that important and useful to you?
Yeah, I mean, from a DP's perspective, skin tones, as I'm sure many of us would agree, is kind of like the endless bane of our existence. Like, we're always trying to make faces look as flattering as possible. I often find myself choosing light fixtures specifically based on how they perform on certain skin tones with color fidelity. You know, of course, like there's the gold standard like tungsten. I think a lot of people really love HMI, but you know, an SSI of 85 and 84 is kind of the metric that I like to know. That's incredibly, incredibly well well produced and well accurate to make sure that, you know, when I'm throwing these on any different type of skin tone, I'm gonna get that accurate and really lifelike feeling color. And also just being able to match against, you know, all of the ambient sources and make sure that if we have overhead fluorescents that are kind of giving us some weird color, but we need to play into that to make sure we can match all of our sources and not have those odd gradations on skin. This is going to be able to deliver that with all of the excellent CRI scores.
Cool, yep. Also, if you have those clients with brand colors that we have to match in the deliverable, we can sort of get there with the color metrics we're offering in this thing. So obviously we've talked about the incredible output on these fixtures. And output's not everything. We need to be able to shape and create different qualities of light from these lighting instruments. So one thing that we have, and we're gonna cue a video just scrolling through our Knowled website here, are many different ways to shape this light. So if you're watching right now, we have obviously light banks, soft boxes. We have different ways that you can rig the lights so that you can gang them up, maybe one fixture, two fixture, or three fixtures together. Different types of mounts, also space lights. So that's going to be a popular usage case for things this bright where you rig them up over a stage, and we'll have that type of light modifier as well, and more to come. So these can be shaped to meet the demands of almost any light quality that you might have from a project. All right, guys, well, that pretty much covers everything that we wanted to tell you about these exciting new product releases. I hope that if you're interested in these, you're going to go to your favorite reseller or channel partner. Knowled dealers are all over the globe, and you can ask them more about the equipment, place your pre-orders, or if you're in Southern California, come here to Terraform, where we can make an appointment for you to check out not only these new exciting product releases, but many of the lighting instruments you see behind me and more. And we can learn more about your projects and how Knowled can be a partner for it. And I want to thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. No, it's really amazing to be able to come into a space, work with the new equipment, you know, be able to get hands-on product support, really go through the process and make sure it's going to be a good fit for me, and, you know, potentially deciding on what fixtures might be more impactful and how I can utilize those in my upcoming projects. So if you're here in Southern California, make sure to check out Terraform, get a hold of Ben here.
Yep, that's great. And we can't wait to see what our content creators, cinematographers, filmmakers, DPs do with these tools. That's really what we're here for. It's our passion for film, our passion for content creation. And just know that we have a great team here behind the Knowled product. We have your support, not up until the day that you purchase it, but the day after. We have service centers all over the US now. It's a great part of Mac Group joining the support of the Knowled brand, is that there are many places that can repair and keep your gear up and running. So, you know, hopefully you guys will learn how much we're here for you, and we can learn more about what you guys are doing out there with the incredible imagery we expect you to make with these new and exciting tools. On that note, have a great night. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, everyone.